North Fox Island, part of the Fox Islands in Lake Michigan, became a focal point in the 1970s for a child pornography ring. Research indicates that Francis Sheldon, a wealthy individual that's worth millions with ties to Ann Arbor, Charlevoix, and Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, purchased the island and established Brother Paul's Children's Mission as a cover. This charity, ostensibly for remedial tutoring and emergency care for runaways, was a front for exploiting boys, flying them to the island via Sheldon's private plane for abuse and pornography production. The breakthrough came in July 1976 when Gerald Richards, a gym teacher from Port Huron, Michigan, was arrested for assaulting a 10-year-old boy. Richards, who also moonlighted as a magician and was an aspiring politician running for county commissioner, had taken 4 students from his school to the island, where they were abused and photographed. His arrest, following a boy's report to his mother, led to the exposure of the entire ring, with Richards implicating Sheldon and others. The operation involved several key figures. Francis Sheldon, the proprietor, a Yale graduate. All right, that's where the skull and bones is from. The tomb, okay, and I can almost guarantee you there was a skull and bones connection there. A former Michigan Air National Guard member who used his wealth to insulate himself from prosecution. Oh, listen to this, folks. Dyer Grossman from Carmel, New York. He taught science at prestigious schools and held positions like Vice President of Brother Paul's Children's Mission, Executive Director of the Ocean Living Institute, and Youth Director of the Church of the New Revelation. Adam Starchild, involved in offshore finance, he helped set up front organizations including the Educational Foundation for Youth of Illinois, allegedly tax dodges for sexual activities involving boys. Gerald Richards, the teacher, the recruiter whose arrest was pivotal and who confessed to destroying Sheldon's pornography collection to protect his family. Other potential associates include Christopher Bush, a subscriber to the ring, and possibly other wealthy individuals through those specific names beyond these are less documented. Francis Sheldon's escape and invasion as the investigation closed in, he fled to Europe in 1976. Records suggest he went to France, marrying Aline Giselle Gabi to obtain French citizenship, then moved to Amsterdam, Netherlands, where he continued his activities unhindered by U.S. authorities. Despite criminal warrants issued in December of 1976, including a federal fugitive warrant, Sheldon was never extradited. Legal proceedings, such as Fakar versus Sheldon in 1987, note disputes over extradition attempts, but it seems likely that his citizenship and the complexities of international law allowed him to evade justice until his death on July 9th, 1996, and we all know where he's at now. All right, it says here the lack of extradition may stem from the U.S. not pursuing it vigorously or legal barriers such as the Netherlands' policies on extraditing citizens, though this remains speculative given the redacted nature of FBI files. The Oakland County child killer case, active from 1976 to 1977, involved the abduction and murder of at least 4 children: Mark Stebbins, Jill Robinson, Christine Myalek, and Timothy King. The investigation, the largest of its kind at the time, uncovered links to the North Fox Island pedophile ring. Christopher Bush, a convicted pedophile from Bloomfield Hills, was a key suspect known to have subscribed to Sheldon's pornography materials. Bush was arrested in 1977 for child sexual assault, confessed, but was released on a plea deal. He committed suicide in November 1978. I'll be honest with you, I don't think it was suicide. Kind of like Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself neither. It says, with suspicious circumstances, including no gunshot residue and a sketch resembling victim Mark Stebbins found in his apartment. DNA testing in 2012 exonerated Bush, but families and investigators like Marnie Keenan and the Snow Killings, a book that's written, argue for his involvement, citing his connections to the ring in the presence of hair from Vincent Gunnels, a victim of Bush, on one of the bodies. The evidence leans towards a possible network, with the killer potentially victimized or involved in the island's activities, though the case remains unsolved. It sounds absolutely like there's some satanic stuff going on at North Fox Island. The case and its connection to the Oakland County child killer left a lasting impact on Michigan, with communities haunted by the scale of abuse and murder. The lack of justice for Sheldon and the unresolved killer case underscores systemic challenges in prosecuting transitional crimes, especially in the 1970s. Investigative efforts like those by Marnie Keenan continue to seek closure for victims, families, with ongoing debates about cover-ups and the true extent of the network. I think it's a whole lot worse than people can even begin to understand.